So you want to deadlift a fuckload of weight. And one of the ways that you can do this is by taking the slack out of the bar properly. And if you're here on my email list or you just watched my previous YouTube video, I've just shown you what taking the slack out of the bar is. You can go back and watch that, or I'm going to cut to a scene now that's going to show you it, and then we're going to move on to what we're actually doing, which is, one, taking the slack out of the bar with the easiest option you can teach yourself or clients. Two, what variations we can use, and then three, some other little tips that can obviously help you out. The slack. When we're talking about the slack, if you can hear this sound here, hopefully you can with the mic, we're looking to close the gap between the plate and the actual bar, all right? And when you get strong enough, you're trying to take the slack out to the point where the bar even starts to bend. So as you get a lot stronger, 200 kilos plus, you will notice this. But for now, we're just trying to bridge that gap. And the reason being, and I'm just going to show you to demonstrate so you can understand, if this was you starting a deadlift right now, a bit like on the video when I was really sloppy at the beginning, you're not got any slack at all right, bending your arms, and all of a sudden you go from this position with no slack, taken out, to come here. See how the weight doesn't come up? There's a big leakage of power before the weight actually comes up, because as I come up, it tightens and then the weight tries to come up. But when we're talking about taking the slack out, we're looking to pull gradually, okay? Push and pull gradually to gradually take that tension out, clearing that gap, okay? Keeping that gap nice and close. And all we're gonna do from here, once the tension's out, is power through. And notice how much smoother that is. Bear in mind, if you don't pair this with a good brace and good upper back tension, which I will show you in this video, it will not work as well as it can. So, now you know what taking slack out of the bar is. I'm going to show you sort of what this looks like with the easiest variation. And I'm not going to talk you through it too much. I'm just going to show you quickly and demonstrate it. So all we're going to do, we're going to get into position. I'm going to do some of the basic things that I'm meant to do. And then from here, I'm just giving it gradual push the floor away, feeling my arms lengthen, 20 to 30% power, okay? And then power through from there. That's all we're going to do for this style of deadlift, okay? Or this style of slack pull. It's one of my favorites to use because there's less moving parts. So let's talk through it. So, one of the best ways you could do it, you're going to stand roughly an inch away from the bar, okay? You're in your deadlift stance. If you don't know what your deadlift stance is, then you might need to get help off someone, a coach, all right? There's an inch gap between the shin and my actual bar here, roughly. Each person's slightly different. All we're looking for is that when we get a grip just outside our knees, all right, all we're looking for is as we lower our hips into position, staying over the bar, notice I'm not squatting, I'm just lowering my hips into position. Once the shins touch from the sides, the bar's roughly in line with my armpit crease and my shoulders are just over, or they're just in line or just over, depending on the person, okay? And then from here, all I would be doing is armpits down, ear in a brace, a little pressure out the knees into the arms without compromising the arms too much. And I'm gonna look forward and I gradually push the floor away until I feel my arms lengthen with that brace held, and then power through. And you'll notice you don't hear this initial off the floor. It's already taken it out and then power through. Otherwise, if you don't take the slack out, what you'll normally hear is that sort of sound from there, okay? And it's such a simple tactic to use. Obviously, if you're trying to teach your client to get extra tight, or you're trying to get extra tight, and you notice the bar's swinging away from them, the good tip, which I showed on the first video, get a band tied to something in front of you, get your armpits down, okay? And then what we're gonna do is from this position, when we're in actual stance at the bottom, we're here, we're taking air in and bracing, we're clamping the armpit down, reverse of a shrug. See what's happening? The elbow's getting pointing to the back of the room. We're not pinching back, it's down, reverse of a shrug. That tension then keeps us extra tight. Now when I look forward slightly, is what I prefer to do. You can look down, look forward, and gradually push the floor away for the arms lengthen, 20-30% power through from there, okay? And obviously making sure you hold that brace throughout. So, what variations can we use? Well, one of the variations we can use to help improve this is the 1-inch pause. Okay, so from the floor, all we're looking to do, set up the same way. I won't talk you through it too much. You already know what you're doing. And in this position, when you've got the ear in a brace and your armpits are down, you're 20-30% power, and then you're gonna start powering to an inch off the floor and then power through from here. What people do is they go a little bit too wrong. They try to yank it off the floor, they end up pausing way too high. It needs to be that you're just hovering off the floor and then powering through from there. The reason it needs to be just hovering off the floor is that if you fuck up the brace and lock your armpits down, that bar will shift and it makes it really, really fucking horrible. It also limits the load, so they can't load the bar too much, and they need to practice the skill in itself, okay? Which is quite good to use in earlier stages of like a strength program, conditioning blocks, whatever it is you want to do. There are some other variations we can use to help you practice that push away from the floor. Remember, it is a push and a pull. For some people, it's going to be a little bit more pull. Some people, it's going to be a little bit more push, depending on limb proportions. So don't panic if it doesn't look exactly like mine. So the other variation we can use is like a shiko dead, okay? So the way we do this, the same position, you're going to do the same things. So obviously, take the slack at the bar, 20 to 30% power. But then from here, you're going to come to the knee, straight back down, come to the knee, straight back down, come to the knee, and then power through, okay? What that's gonna teach you to do is that initial slack pull with a little bit of a push and a pull at the same time, all right? And a little bonus tip for you, it does work for some people, is that when they're doing this initial push the floor away, they're also thinking about wedging the hips forward in that direction. So they're pushing and wedging the hips forward, and then they feel super tight as they power through. But don't panic, you don't need to remember all this. Just pick something, whether it's locking the armpit down a little bit better, whether it's that gradual push the floor away, and over time, you'll get better and better at it. All right, any problems, obviously you can reach out to me on social media, on Instagram, etc. But give me a follow, drop me a comment, let me know how you found it, and hopefully that helps you out or a client.